Ever notice that when black people build an all-black neighborhood, it's called empowerment?
You worrying about all of this, but where's them Epstein files? Your president still got them Epstein files. Where's the Epstein files?
It's so weird watching black people get mad at white people for starting functioning white communities.
First of all, no one's mad. Not one of us is mad. We're actually very happy for you.
It's like, you know how happy we'd be to see black people start a functioning black community? Like, we would leave you to it. We would be, oh my goodness, good for you guys.
You're a liar. Y'all have literally never left us alone. But
I see more white folks worried about that white-only town than black folks. Video after video, I'm seeing, oh my God, y'all, they're being a whites-only town in Arkansas. Did y'all see they're building that white-only town? What are we going to do? Nothing. We're not going to do a damn thing. Baby, Mother Nature will take its course.
These people are trying to rage bait the black community and black people in general to do something or say something or like something, feel something. We are beginning and establishing and planting these people only towns, do something. And they're like, you know, it's so sad that, you know, when they decide to establish functional towns, then black people have a problem with it. I brought you a segment about black people reactions to these towns. Did you hear any black person that was saying they want to be there? In fact, a lot of them say, we don't care. It's so good that you are actually away from us. Now we know. But don't disguise it as, yeah, call it another sundown town. That would be proper, right? We're going to look at some of these people that are rage baiting, and we see the reactions and the responses black people gave them. We'll come back and talk about it. Do me a favor, like the video, share it. Don't forget to subscribe to that channel. What do you think? Those thoughts in the comment section, please.
These people don't want to live next to white people, but the second we make our own communities, then it's hate.
I don't know why liars lie, but I can tell you this.
Ever notice that when black people build an all-black neighborhood, it's called empowerment?
I also noticed those black neighborhoods kept getting burned to the ground. Tulsa, Rosewood, Wilmington. Funny how empowerment gets erased when white mobs showed up. But yeah, continue.
But when white people build an all-white neighborhood, all of a sudden they're the triple K.
Yeah, because historically, white-only neighborhoods were enforced with lynch mobs and housing covenants. James Lowen's Sundown Towns breaks this down. Literal signs saying, don't let the sun set on you here. Black towns equal survival. White towns rooted in supremacy. See the difference yet?
You want to move away from white people because it's healing, but when we do the same thing, all of a sudden it's a problem.
Healing from what? Oh, right, black fatigue. Centuries of exclusion and violence must have been exhausting. I'd be fatigued too. Black flight is escaping harm. White flight is draining tax bases and hoarding resources. Kevin Cruz wrote the book on this. Literally, it's called White Flight.
I want equality, y'all want reverse Jim Crow.
Reverse Jim Crow? Cute phrase, not a thing. Jim Crow was state-backed racial terror. Poll taxes, lynching, segregation by law.
Black-only neighborhoods is progress, black-only events is culture, but the second it's white-only anything.
Black-only events today, cookouts, Juneteenth, usually in states with white governors. Survival and culture are an oppression, sweetheart.
So when white people move in, it's gentrification. When they move out, it's called white flight.
Correct. Now you're getting it. Because white wealth moves wherever white comfort goes, and everyone else pays the price. That's literally the cycle of racial capitalism. You thought you cooked, huh? Anyway, next.
Wonder where all this energy was for Freedom, Georgia.
By Freedom GA, you mean the 90 acres black families bought in 2020 that the state basically ignored. That Freedom GA. Meanwhile, let's look at Mason, Tennessee. Majority black town that the state, specifically a white comptroller, tried to take it over right after Ford announced the multi-billion-dollar plant nearby. Funny how that works.
And let's be so for real, if white people vanished tomorrow, you wouldn't have anybody else to blame.
You are absolutely right, but it's not the flex you think. We're not asking y'all to vanish. Leave us alone, yes. We're asking you to stop structuring society around white comfort. Also, blaming systems isn't blaming skin color. Read Rothstein's The Color of Law. It's the laws and policies, not random white neighbors.
If white people did 10% of what y'all do, it would be considered a hate crime.
Half of hate crimes in this country are already anti-black. FBI data. Doing 10% would be an improvement. And white-only anything was the law for most of U.S. history. So yes, People side-eye you when you try to cosplay victim now.
Yeah, no, sorry. We just learned how to play your own game.
I'm gonna hold your hand with latex gloves on when I say this. We did not create the game. Black folks didn't invent this game. We survived it. You're not playing our game, you're recycling 400 years of yours and calling it innovation. It's a rebrand. As my grandmothers used to say, the devil ain't got no new tricks.
Sounds like the real problem isn't segregation. It's the fact that you're not the one controlling it.
This isn't about who can segregate better. It's about power. White spaces were built on exclusion and violence. Black spaces were built out of necessity and survival. That's not hypocrisy. That's history. It's almost as if protecting whiteness requires you to not know any of this. Interesting.
Why do white people pay so much attention to black people if they don't like them? I don't pay attention to things I don't like.
I only debate with my equals. All others I teach.
Ever notice that when black people build an all-black neighborhood, it's called empowerment? But when white people build an all-white neighborhood, all of a sudden they're the triple K.
I'm gonna say this once, and once only. Black people, LGBTQ people, non-problematic white people, Latino people, indigenous people, Middle Eastern people, Pacific Islander people want nothing to do with any of those white tea-only towns in Arkansas or Missouri, or any white town for that matter. If these white folks want to build their own utopia, let them do it in peace. We don't care. Get as many of these problematic, racist white people out as possible. If there's going to be white tea people left in our communities, at least let it be the non-problematic ones. At least let it be the ones who's willing to educate and learn, bro. But these problematic ones that are building their own stuff, I promise you no one on the internet, and I mean no one in their right mind, is upset about it. That is a lie you guys are saying to get paid. Point blank period. You're lying. We do not care. And we don't care to burn them down. You know why? Because we're not y'all. We're not y'all. Y'all did it to us dozens of times. Black folks ain't gonna burn down no white tea only town in 2025 under the Trump presidency, where it's damn near legal for police to us. You think we're dumb? Please. Even if we wanted to, we wouldn't be able to get away with it. Stop the nonsense, man. Stop spreading these lies. Stop telling these fairy tales. Don't nobody care about them white folks building their own town. Let them have it, bro.
It's so weird watching black people get mad at white people for starting functioning white communities. It's like, you know how happy we'd be to see black people start a functioning black community? Like, we would leave you to it.
TikTok supports white supremacy, and no one is getting mad at you for creating a functional white city. We are calling you out for the hypocrisy of you constantly telling us that you're not racist while also doing the most racist things anybody has ever done. There is this thing called history. Now, what you do with this history thing is when you make a statement, you then go back into history to see if it is true, to see if it has been true. For instance, when you say white people would be happy if black people are successful, then you need to go back into the history. Because if you did, you would see that there are at least 50 black cities that were burned down because they were successful, because they were thriving, and white people did not like that. You saw us making something of ourselves, and you didn't celebrate it. You got angry, and you burned those cities to the ground, or you ran the black people out of town, or you buried that town underwater. It's almost like you avoid the truth for a reason. You have a good one.
It's so weird watching black people get mad at white people for starting functioning white communities. It's like, you know how happy we'd be to see black people start a functioning black community? Like we would
burn it down, right? Was that what you was about to say? Because that is the only thing that has ever happened in American history.
Sir, you don't understand. You're helping all Americans by taking all the racist people and moving them into one area. I may help you pack your bags and rent a moving truck for you. I may donate to your cause so we can get this thing rolling. We need y'all all to be in the same area so we know who exactly you people are.
I challenge every and any European American to name me one, just one, in 300 years, name me one time black people have built an all-black everything, right? A thriving community, a thriving functioning system, right? And white people have not destroyed it. Any group, any community, any town has been destroyed, burned down to the ground by European Americans. What's extremely disheartening from European Americans is in the year of 2025, they then say, oh, why aren't black people building functioning towns? You blew them all up. You think if you keep blowing up, bombing, and burning down every town that black people built, that we're just going to keep building more and more and more? You force black people to assimilate into American culture, then point the finger and say, why aren't you doing this? Your analogy is the same as burning down somebody's house, coming back the next day and say, hey, you know you're homeless, right?
This is a white-only town. White supremacists, to be specific. We said we making a...
Man, we heard you. Nobody want to live with y'all dirty ass. No way. Keep y'all ass up. Damn.
Well, hold on. Why y'all don't care?
Man, take y'all ass and go on. Leave us alone. Shit, this is what we been wanting.
Well, what's wrong with us? Why nobody want to live with us? Well, this ain't no fun if y'all don't care about living.
Hell no, we don't care. We been wanting y'all ugly ass to go over there and live by yourself. Leave us alone.
I'm confused. Well, who we gonna blame when the shit don't work out? This ain't no damn fun. The hell? Well, I guess we can start accepting some folk. Well, I think we can open up a couple spots for you. We're not gonna pay you a fair wage, but you're more than welcome. I don't like this.
It's so weird watching black people get mad at white people for starting functioning white communities.
I'm gonna need you guys to stop lying on black people. I'm gonna need y'all to do that ASAP. Cause ain't no black person mad that y'all want to create your own little towns. Matter of fact, y'all already have towns. They're called sundown towns. But anyway, if you want to create your little towns, your little encampments, make sure you build a nice wall around y'all and stay the f*** in there. We're okay with that. You can stay in there with your mayonnaise that you think is seasoning, with your potatoes with raisins, and your bland life and your bland shit. Y'all all stay in that bland little encampment. We don't give up. What we care about is leaving us alone. While y'all in y'all little encampments, y'all stay there. Leave us alone, because when we build for ourselves, when we have our own black spaces, y'all like to invade our black spaces. So stay in your little encampments. We won't go in there. You don't come over here. We don't give a shit about your little towns. Go ahead, do it. Take a whole state of Idaho and put a fucking fence around Idaho. And all you Trumpers and racists and all you white supremacists, go over there. We don't give a fuck. Stop lying on black people. Ain't no black person mad. We don't give a shit. Separate. So if y'all want to separate, go ahead and separate. Separate but equal. That's cool with us. Y'all go over there. Stop lying. Ain't no black person mad. We don't give a fuck. Most of the white people ain't even going over there. It's just you racist. Have fun.
It's so weird watching black people get mad at white people for starting functioning white communities.
Who's mad? Which one of our misguided cousins is upset about this? Please tag me in the video, because all the videos I've seen on this topic, there's been nothing but joy. Joy and amusement, you know? The blacks, they're ready to help you pack your bags. Do not understand you're doing us a favor. And not just black people, society. Identify yourself as a dunk. You separate yourself from the civilized folk. You try to make it work amongst your Neanderthal brethren. What is there for anyone to be upset about? Who's gonna miss the racists? We've been trying to weed you out of society for a very long time. Fuck, you need a housewarming present, girl? I can throw in for a blender, maybe a waffle iron, I don't know. No one's gonna miss you, girl. And I mean no one, not a one. Toodaloo.
So you know how happy we'd be to see black people start a functioning black community?
Y'all would not be happy if niggas started their own community. Y'all burned them the first time. Actually, the first couple times. Not one nigga is mad y'all leaving. Go! No nigga in history ever talked about going to Arkansas. And like, hey, Arkansas is already an all-white state. How white do you need it? It surely sound like a recipe for disaster. Only the niggas gonna work. Y'all gonna be selling y'all lives to each other, ain't y'all? I can already see now somebody selling their daughter for some milk to the pastor. I'm telling y'all, I don't know how, but this turns into some weird quote. They'll use one quote from the Bible, twist that bitch to smithereens, and follow it. Y'all gonna have the sorriest sports team of all time. And then y'all not inviting the Amish? Y'all niggas don't know how to build? Dog, this how I know this shit's code. Have you seen the leader? This nigga look like if dirt touches nigga, he's gonna start spazzing out and beating his wife.
I see more white folks worried about that white-only town than black folks. Video after video, I'm seeing, oh my God, y'all, they're being a whites-only town in Arkansas. Did y'all see they're building that white-only town? What are we gonna do? Nothing. We're not gonna do a damn thing. Baby, Mother Nature will take its course. Black folks ain't worried about it because 9 times out of 10, they don't believe in vaccination. They don't believe in doctors. They barely can cook. The children gonna have father uncles. It's gonna become a cult. They're gonna find a passage in the Bible so one person can become the full leader. And baby, we're gonna have Waco all over again. Natural selection will take its course. Let them white folks build their shit. See, the thing is, they're building their stuff out of hate, no matter what they say. When black people built their community, it was for love. It was for protection. It was so we could have something to pass down. White folks have this whole country to pass down. They said they want to preserve their culture. I don't know what kind of culture they preserve. I saw them playing a flute. Hell, even the dog is white. Let them have that.
Ever notice that when black people build an all-black neighborhood, it's called empowerment?
When black people build a neighborhood for themselves, white people burn it down. So we don't give a about your funky ass town. Please go there. Matter of fact, you can take your ass with them. Smell your armpits from over here. You worrying about all of this, but where's them Epstein files? Your president still got them Epstein files. Where's the Epstein files? Why y'all protecting pedos? It's weird. How y'all act like y'all protect children or care for children, but you protecting pedos? That's weird. Where the Epstein files at? Hey, Big Head Ariel, where are the Epstein files? All black people doing is making jokes about your little town. We don't give a fuck your funky ass little town. Take your ass funky little town. Hey, redheaded Monica Lewinsky, take the Cheeto out your mouth, wipe your cheek, and stand up. Ask him where the Epstein files are at. Black people worried about their little town. What gonna do if we came to that town? Eat your food? The answer's no. Just a bunch of unseasoned chicken and some sister flirting. Like, what we care about that spot for? Go ahead.
Black community.
I know I would be ecstatic. I like going to places that have cultures that are different than my own to experience and learn and listen. I like hearing the way people talk and the way the accents roll off the tongue, how the different syllables meet up together to make a new language. But don't lie to me that my skin folk like seeing black people make their own neighborhoods. Just look at the interstate highway system. Do you want to know why Atlanta's, for example, is so messed up? Because when they looked at where it was best to put the roads, the freeways, they realized it would go through white towns or white neighborhoods. And they thought, we can't have that. So they put it through the black ones. And then we can look at where the most pollution is in the United States, and it just happens to be right next to minority neighborhoods. And then there's places like Greenwood, Oklahoma, and Rosewood, Florida. Where are they? I don't know how many towns, black towns, are now under man-made lakes. Seneca Village was where Central Park is now. There was a black town where the Pentagon now sits. There was a black town where Reagan International Airport now lies. There are very few black towns, black neighborhoods left in the United States. The ones that were in cities are now being faced with gentrification, forcing the current residents out. And there are others that are just shadows of their former selves, like Africatown, near here in Mobile, Alabama. And to come on to this miracle of interconnectivity called the internet, and to say such blatant and ignorant things without doing a search as to what has happened to black neighborhoods is the height of ignorance and stupidity. Everywhere in the United States of America, where black people have tried to set up roots, white mobs, or the majority white government, have done all in their power to destroy those neighborhoods, either through unaliving people or by eminent domain. And black people are right for calling out these white colonists for their racism, because they are doing it in order to perpetuate their own racism. They say they want to preserve white culture. There is no white culture outside of racism and bigotry, because the only reason the term white even exists was to segregate us in order to establish a hierarchy of racism. Have a day.
It's so weird watching black people get mad at white people for starting functioning white communities.
Let's go ahead and put this to bed, because what you said wasn't just ignorant. It was willfully anti-intellectual. And frankly, I'm tired of mediocre white men throwing black people into their think pieces like seasoning. You said, it's so weird watching black people get mad at white folks building functioning white communities. What's weird is pretending history started yesterday. Black people did build functioning communities. You might want to Google Tulsa, Rosewood, Seneca Village, and Wilmington before opening your mouth about what we're capable of. We didn't ask to be brought here. We didn't ask to be integrated. We asked to be left alone. And every time we tried that, y'all showed up with arson and ordinances. Then you name drop Detroit and Jackson as if the decay there is black people's doing. Where's your analysis of redlining, deindustrialization, predatory lending, or the eminent domain theft of black homes and land? Oh, right. You skipped that chapter because accountability isn't a part of your script. You invoke Wakanda like it's some compliment. It's not. It's cosplay empathy wrapped in condescension. You don't get to destroy our real communities and then tell us to go build a fictional one with your blessing. We don't want your permission. We want our peace. And don't gaslight this with in-group preference. You're not talking about culture. You're talking about segregation with plausible deniability, about ethno-nationalism with a smoother tone and a Patreon link. Stop cloaking white defensiveness in anthropological terms. You don't study history. You cherry pick talking points and call it thought leadership. So here's what you can do. Step back. Reread something longer than a tweet. And next time you feel moved to dissect black communities for content, don't. We are not your experiment, your counterpoint, or your spectacle. You're not offering insight. You're recycling projection wrapped in a false sense of superiority. Stay in your lane, far outside the borders of any conversation about us.
Black people start a functioning black community. Like we would leave you to it. We would be, oh my goodness, good for you.
This is probably the biggest reason I became a history teacher. It drives me up a wall when people lie about objective fact. You can literally look up a map of massacres that have happened in the United States on black communities. You can Google that. It's free. Now, the ones that you've probably heard about the most within the past couple of decades were Tulsa, which happened in 1921, and Rosewood, which happened in 1923. Both of those instances, black people were thriving, minding their business in their own communities. Palm-colored people got jealous that black people were doing better than them. They came up with a reason, went into those black towns, and slaughtered the people there. In Rosewood, it was the excuse of a palm-colored woman being raped. And it was in reality a palm-colored man who had raped her. They used that as a justification for slaughtering the black residents of Rosewood. Tulsa, black people had a thriving community. It was called Black Wall Street for a reason. Wealth was flowing through the black community. And they didn't like that. So they came in and slaughtered the residents there. So much so, they actually used warplanes to drop bombs on American citizens. That's how angry they were. Let's also not forget that in 1969, the FBI came together with local law enforcement and slaughtered Black Panthers in their sleep. The Black Panthers were a reactionary movement to white violence and brutality. They came together to protect black communities. They also started the school lunch programs. And in response to black people saying, we've had enough, we're going to protect our own, the FBI colluded with local law enforcement and murdered Black Panthers in their sleep. Fred Hampton being one of those. So don't play in my face and tell me that you all would be okay if black people were to mind their business.
Somebody need to start a sign-up sheet, because with that many people, they're going to be passing around partners like Tupperware. Do you understand? I really hope they like community property, because in a space that small, like, exclusivity would be a myth. It's no way. Listen, I'm thinking about it. In a town that small, a family tree is going to look like a wreath. There's no way. See, that's the part of this nobody wants to talk about. When you isolate yourself like this, right, and you lock yourself down, 9 times out of 10, over time, right, that exclusivity won't be as exclusive anymore. And then you start running into things that are way taboo. I'm like, are y'all that pressed to be isolated that you'll put yourself in predicaments like that? Make it make sense. Again, people all have a right to have their safe space. But to me, this safe space is just like speed dating with less steps, right? Because everybody know everybody. You know? It's kind of like The Village, except the people who started The Village were smarter than these people. So I'm not quite sure what the end result's going to be.
White communities.
First of all, no one's mad. Not one of us is mad. We're actually very happy for you.
Like, you know how happy we'd be to see black people start a functioning black community? Like, we would leave you to it. We would be, oh my goodness, good for you guys.
You're a liar. Y'all have literally never left us alone. But let's get to the point of, but you would be happy if black people created their own functional communities, which is also false. And I think you know that. From the Reconstruction period to Jim Crow, well into the 1920s, black people built free and independent towns. Yet instead of being left alone, those towns were deliberately targeted. They were destroyed, they were burnt down, they were bombed, and many of the residents were unalived as a result. Their property and wealth was confiscated from them. And 100 years later, the members of that community still have not received any sort of healing and reconciliation to atone for the sins committed upon them by the white residents and by the white legislators and police officers. White supremacist violence was not just tolerated, it was heavily encouraged. Fast forward to my hometown of Philadelphia to 1985, where city officials dropped an explosive device on American soil, on Americans, at a row house in North Philadelphia because it was occupied by a Black liberation movement, which resulted in a fire that spread to over 2 city blocks, destroying dozens of homes, displacing hundreds of people in a predominantly Black neighborhood. 11 people were unalived, half of them were children. And still to this day, 30 years plus later, no one has been held accountable. And those are just 2 examples. There are hundreds of examples that there have been deliberate efforts to systematically oppress Black success and upward mobility. Whenever and wherever Black people have built independent economies, educational networks, businesses for both safety and autonomy, they have deliberately been attacked. Because historically, right, let's just go on the facts, Black success has oftentimes been met with white sabotage.
There's no gays, no Jews, and no blacks.
Hey, what the hell? It is 2025.
Sir, this ain't got nothing to do with you. We're talking about where we live.
Where?
In the woods, in the hills, in Arkansas. And you can't come.
Have fun.
You don't have to be offended by this at all. Like, this has nothing...
I don't even know how to saw anyway.
What does sawing have to do with anything that we just...
You said you can saw. So...
We said Arkansas.
Same thing. Hey, have fun in your racist treehouse.
We're not racist. We're not trying to keep anybody down. We're trying to preserve our community, and we don't want y'all in it. That's all
Listen,
we're saying.
sir,
That's
as
all.
soon as you said woods and hills, I already knew that you guys had a scheduled bonfire and flute concerts. I'm good. But quick question, though. What is the name of this little barefoot utopia? So I know to close my nose when I drive past.
It's called Return of the Land.
Return of the Land?
Yes.
That sounds like a last step in a cult handbook.
Well, he's not wrong.
You know what? I'm going to return to my car.
Okay, jokes. Here's a
Oh,
joke.
man. Have fun in White Africa.
Hopefully God has put a fence of protection over you and yours, and I do hope that you guys are doing alright. Welcome back to the channel. It's your girl Gracie over here. Yes, thank you to all of you that support me. My members, a big shout out to you from all over the states that you are watching me from, the United States of Embarrassment. Hi. My brothers in the Caribbean, hello. My brothers in the UK, those of you that are in Canada, Australia, Uganda, East Africa, the rest of Africa, you all are super, super welcome, and I greet you all. Yes, we saw the reactions some of the palm-colored people had towards this, and we saw the reactions Black people had over this so-called palm-colored, or can we call it more sundown towns, right? We saw, and there's nowhere where Black people had a problem with it. They were like, okay, it's good, you're making this obvious, but stop hiding the hypocrisy. You're saying you're not this, but what you're doing is actually indicating, you know, these people have a habit of doing something that is so obvious, and when you point it out and spot it out, oh, you are misinterpreting the intention. What is the intention? Because you're telling us towns that have Black people are not functional. You're telling us towns that have Black people, it's crime all over. Towns that have this and that, people of color, that's not meant for us. We are supposed to segregate. When people call out segregation, oh no, that's not segregation. Yeah, so, and they're talking about how when Black people do stuff, it's empowerment. It is empowerment. And it's so crazy that they don't get it. Because who owns this country? This country, even to date, 2025, it is still majority or majorly owned by these people. Yeah? So it is definitely going to be empowerment if it is a minority. Because guess what? These systems were never built for the minorities. These systems were built specifically to cater for palm-colored people, believe it or not. And I know some of them are very good at denying realities and facts and history. They will twist it to fit their narrative. Turn it against them? Oh no, that's a problem. So Black people didn't talk about this because they were disappointed. They were just like, you know, put it in plain sight, just like the way, let us call it the way it is. It is okay for you to go ahead and practice your culture, because unlike other people that don't believe that these people have culture, I think they do have culture. They do. It's just that their culture is disgusting to others. So that's why it's not... People don't recognize that, yeah? But it's just that the culture is disgusting. Inbreeding, like atrocity committers, yeah? And for them to even come out and be like, oh, you know, we would be happy that you guys are actually doing this. When have you ever been happy? History says otherwise, and people don't trust anything that comes out of your mouth. Yeah? So I think black people give their reactions and responses, and they're like, we're not bothered at all. We're just calling it what it is, and it is rubbing you off the wrong way because you don't want to hear truth. Because truth is you're segregating. Truth is you're making a safe space for palm-colored people to go ahead and do whatever they want to do, which is very, very okay. There's a lady that I landed on, palm-colored. She said that, how comes the black Israelites are free to train and they are all over New York and they are all over everywhere? Well, the difference is these people are not, even if they are training, they are not actually targeting you. They are doing what they are doing just to make sure they are ready when you attack, because you do. So they are building a community that can protect themselves. Now, contrary to what the clans do, they will literally attack. And this community attacks. From all the receipts that have been given in here, no black community has ever attacked any of your community. And just to make things clear, again, all of America is yours. All the towns, everything is yours. So for you to come out and be like, oh, we want to start something functional, you are saying the system is not functional. Yeah, the same system that was built for you. Others are just trying to navigate through it. But anywho, those are the thoughts of the people. They reacted and responded to these clapbacks, these foolish clapbacks. What about you guys? I want you to let me know those thoughts in the comment section right there. Do me a favor, like the video and share it. Yeah, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Super thank me if you would like. I'll highly appreciate it. And I'll see you in another amazing video. Until then, my name is Gracie. Love all of you. Stay safe, blessed, and God protect you and preserve you.